When I was 24, my cousin falsely accused me of something horrible, SA. Now, nearly a decade later, my family is finally reaching out again. I grew up in what you'd call a pretty normal household. My folks worked a lot, but they always made time for me and my two older sisters. We weren't exactly a tight-knit bunch, but we got along just fine. No major fights, nothing crazy. Same went for my extended family. They lived a few hours away, so we didn't see them often, but we always met up for the holidays, Christmas, summers, and everything was friendly. As we all got older, life just pulled us in different directions. Everyone got busy, and we naturally drifted apart. I'm 33 now. But back in 2017, when I was still in university, something happened that flipped my whole world upside down. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in the middle of a game with some buddies when my mom called. I ignored it at first, figured it could wait. But then she called again right away. In our family, that was the unspoken signal. It meant something serious. Like someone died, kind of serious. So I paused the game, stepped away, and picked up. All I heard was yelling and confusion on the other end, people arguing, voices raised. Then my mom must have moved to another room and shut the door, because things got quiet, except for her crying. I asked her what the hell was going on. I don't remember every word clearly, but she asked if there was anything I wanted to confess about my cousin A. Is my cousin on my mom's side, and she was 16 at the time, 8 years younger than me. Truth is, I hadn't seen A in years. I told my mom no, I had no idea what she was talking about. That's when she broke down even harder and accused me, said I had sexually assaulted E when we were younger. According to her, A had told everything to my sister, who then told my mom and our aunt. A said that when she was 11 and I was 18, she was playing in my room, and I came in, started touching her under her clothes, and kissed her. My mom was screaming, demanding I say something. I was just frozen. It felt like a cruel joke, completely unreal. The only thing I could manage to say was that it wasn't true, that A was lying. But then my mom kept going. Said I had described everything in detail, where it happened, how it happened. She kept repeating, "Did you do this? Did you do this?" I just kept yelling back, "No," over and over. Eventually, she put me on speaker. My dad was there too. They both said they didn't want anything to do with me ever again. Told me not to contact them. Just like that. Later that day, 2 of my sisters texted me. Told me I was disgusting. Then they blocked me. After the call, I went and stood in the shower for what felt like hours. I don't even know why. I guess I was trying to wash it all away. It didn't help. Once I got myself together, I started calling and texting everyone, my parents, my sisters, even A. Nobody picked up. The ones who hadn't blocked me did soon after. The only reply I got was a text from my dad telling me to stop reaching out. Said they needed time to heal. That was 11 years ago. I haven't spoken to any of them since. To say it ruined me doesn't even come close. I walked around in a fog for weeks. Barely ate. Couldn't sleep. It all happened right before I was supposed to defend my bachelor's thesis. I was already under a ton of stress. Luckily, my thesis partner noticed something was off and covered for me during the defense. If it weren't for him, I'm sure I would have failed. Nobody came to my graduation. Not a soul. That marked the beginning of the darkest stretch of my life. For a whole year, I lived in fear, expecting the police to come knocking and take me in for something I didn't do. I couldn't get a job. I lived off what little money I had saved. Started drinking hard. Got into Oxy. I turned bitter, angry, violent, even. The only reason I never hurt anyone is because I was always alone. One time, my neighbor called the cops after I smashed a glass. I managed to convince them I had just dropped it. Since there was no one else in the apartment, they let it go. Most nights, I didn't sleep. I just sat there thinking up ways to get back at A. How I could hurt her without ever getting caught. I even found myself thinking about doing to her what she claimed I'd done, but worse. I hate that part of myself. I'm ashamed of it. I got my first real job in my field near the end of 2017. That's when things finally started to shift. Work gave me something to hold on to, something that felt normal. Slowly, I pulled myself out of the mess. I drank less, smiled a bit more. I kept my expenses low and saved up. Every year on my birthday, I'd buy myself something nice, a VR headset, a motorcycle, some Lego sets. Last year, I finally moved out of that crappy apartment and bought myself a small house. Owning a place of my own, with a garage and a little yard to take care of, it's been a long-time dream of mine. And reaching it really helped. So yeah, my life's okay now. Not perfect. I've been on antidepressants for a few years. They take the edge off, but it's not like they make me happy. They just dull the dark thoughts and leave me feeling numb. I've lost almost all trust in people. Tried dating a couple of times, but only managed 2 dates with 2 different women. When it came time to talk about my family, I clammed up. I mean, what do you even say? Oh yeah, my family thinks I assaulted my cousin and we haven't spoken since, but I swear I didn't do it. That kind of thing doesn't exactly land well. My field's mostly men, so the only woman I talk to regularly is my therapist. She's great. I like her a lot. Then a few days ago, something wild happened. I got a text from my mom. Just seeing her name on my screen froze me. I stared at the notification for hours before I could even open it. Then yesterday, a second text came in. They said something like, "Hi A, it's been so long. We miss you and hope you're doing well." Then she went on about my sisters, how their kids are getting big. I didn't even know I was an uncle. She ended it with, "We love you and always will. Love, Mom and Dad." The second message said, "We understand if you don't want to talk to us after what happened, but please hear us out." Apparently, during a recent family gathering, someone brought me up, and in the middle of it, A started playing it down, what happened, or what she said happened. It got uncomfortable enough that she finally admitted nothing ever happened. Said she probably just dreamed it. They were shocked. Said they wanted to protect her at the time and thought they were doing the right thing. But they admitted it doesn't excuse how they treated me. They're angry at her now, and they've told everyone the truth. Now they want to reconnect. My sisters want me to meet their families. They asked me to write back, if I can find it in myself to forgive them. So that's where I'm at. I haven't replied, but they probably know I saw the texts. Truth is, I'm furious. That whole storm I thought had settled? It's churning again. I don't trust myself to be near them, not right now. Part of me wants to call and lay it all out. Hit them with every ounce of pain I've held on to. Make them feel what I felt. And as for A, I fantasize about making her life as miserable as she made mine. But another part of me just wants to move on. Stick with my simple, okay life. Just me, my bike, and my little garden. I don't really have friends. My coworkers are fine, but we're not close. I tried reaching my therapist's clinic, but she's on vacation for a few weeks. I don't want to talk to anyone else. So now I'm turning to strangers online. What should I do? Do I just keep going like I have been? Or should I write them back? And if I do, what the hell do I even say? Meeting them face-to-face seems like a bad idea anytime soon. I don't know if reopening that chapter would heal me or wreck everything I've rebuilt. Honestly, I used to dream about this day. Thought it'd feel like justice, like they'd fall to their knees and beg for forgiveness. But now that it's here, it's just a couple of texts. Feels kind of empty. It's been about 2 months since I posted my last update, and yeah, quite a bit has happened since then. Some of it's been good, some not so much. First off, A is still a piece of work. About a week after my family reached out to me, she sent me this long apology text. When I saw her name pop up, I couldn't believe it. In the message, she talked about struggling with mental health issues for a long time, almost like she was trying to use that as some kind of excuse for what she did to me. She said her parents were helping her get treatment. But to me, it all sounded like nonsense. Growing up, it was always this bright, happy kid until 2016, when everything blew up. So reading her text just felt like a list of excuses, and then at the end, there was this weak, half-hearted apology. I had planned to just keep moving forward with my life, to keep building it up bit by bit. But reading that message, it pushed me right to the edge. I couldn't just sit on it. I needed to respond, to let out everything I'd been holding in. I wanted to write something truly nasty, something that would cut deep. But what I ended up sending her was this. You think dealing with mental issues is hard? Try being completely cut off from your entire family for a whole decade, right when you're barely figuring out adulthood. Try living with that kind of pain and isolation. I'm still fighting to recover, and the last thing I need is the person who caused all this misery throwing excuses in my face. The rest of the family might not have known the truth, but you did. You knew all along, and you didn't say a damn thing for nearly 10 years. You're lucky I didn't take my own life because of this. My parents and siblings might have a shot at redemption, but you? I'll never forgive you for the damage you did to me and my life. Go to hell. Don't ever reach out to me again. She didn't reply, but I saw the read receipts, so I know she saw it. I guess she got the message loud and clear. On the brighter side, I did respond to my parents. I kept the text pretty basic, but we actually ended up having a long phone call after that. It felt strange hearing their voices again. I used to associate those voices with safety and home. But now, it brought up all the pain. At first, I hated it. All those terrible memories from the day they cut me off came rushing back. They'd screamed at me like I was some kind of monster. But despite how rough it felt, we talked for about 4 or 5 hours. And honestly, it was probably the most meaningful conversation I've ever had with them. I went in expecting more excuses, more denial, just like A. But that's not what I got. Instead, they apologized. Over and over again. They admitted to everything they got wrong. Said they've carried the weight of it for all these years, and now that the truth's out, they don't even know how to live with themselves. The hardest moment came when I asked why they chose to believe my cousin over me, their own son. They told me they wrestled with that choice. But A had told her story with so much detail, so convincingly, they felt like they had no other option. I told them they could have at least tried to support me, even if they had doubts. They didn't have to cut me off completely. They agreed, said that was their biggest regret. They admitted that after the first year or two, they wanted to reach out. But they figured I wouldn't answer, that it'd just make things worse. That pissed me off. I said, I'm still your son. That should have come first. Who cares if I'm the type who might not want to talk? You should have tried anyway. By the end of the call, we agreed to stay in touch. I'm not going to visit them anytime soon, but it's a start. There's still a lot of anger in me, but for the first time in a long while, I feel like maybe things can improve. Since that call, we've been texting regularly. Just simple check-ins. And slowly, it's starting to feel kind of normal again. Maybe someday I'll go visit. But I honestly don't know how I'll react. How do you hug the people who tossed you out of their lives like garbage? Now for the final update. It's been another 5 or 6 months since that last post. This time, the news is mostly good. A lot of folks online told me I should sue A or take her to court. And while I agree that what she did was cruel and unforgivable, I just don't think it would help anything. It's been 10 years. I'm tired. I just want to move on and finally leave this behind me. Besides, court would cost me thousands in legal fees I don't have. And I never filed anything official against me either. I know that's not a real excuse, but it's a thought that's crossed my mind. I'm still in contact with my parents, and you might not believe it, but I actually visited them about a week ago. They've also cut ties with A. I guess in a way, her getting shut out like I was feels like justice. I know that sounds harsh, but if anyone understands how lonely and painful that is, it's me. Seeing my parents again was surreal. I haven't seen the rest of the family yet. I want to take it slow, but we had a nice dinner together. In my last post, I wasn't sure how I'd even say hello. How do you greet the folks who took everything from you? But when it actually happened, it went better than I expected. I thought I'd be full of hate. But when I saw them, I felt lighter. Relieved, even. Maybe it's because seeing them made me feel like I might be getting a piece of my old life back. We didn't hug right away. We talked first, and that conversation was rough. I didn't hold back. I had to lay it all out. They needed to know how deeply they hurt me. At one point, my mom broke down crying. I talked about some of my darkest moments, things I'd never said out loud before. They told me they know they can't undo the past, but they want to look forward and make things right. They even brought up that idea of me coming home for Christmas, meeting the rest of the family. I told them I'm open to it, but slowly, one step at a time. I'm still not sure how I feel, but the hatred is starting to fade. I just feel better, lighter. Like I've been carrying this weight on my shoulders for 10 years, and it's finally starting to lift. I've even started dating, met a great woman, and things are slowly getting more serious. Life's finally moving in a better direction. I don't know what the next 10 years will bring, but for the first time in ages, I actually feel hopeful. And to anyone reading this, if you're holding on to pain, or grudges, or going through something similar, I hope my story gives you a little strength. Things do get better, even if it takes 10 long years. Thanks for sticking around and listening to my story.